Guys, it's Lucas back with another video, and I'm gonna be giving more information on the timing. I don't know if I explained it very well on my last video. So I set the timing as my book says. It's like I said, a Haynes repair manual. I have a 2005 Mini Cooper S, and if we look in the book, it says the crankshaft. 2 arrows mark on the crankshaft sprocket, align them with that. And right here, the camshaft stands at the 11 o'clock position. So I could take this bolt off and show you guys, but it's standing at the 11 o'clock position. That's standing right there like it says exactly in the book. 2 gold links lined up. That gold link, see with that arrow, that's lined up. And I'm going to be doing a compression test to show, kind of like prove my point that it doesn't exactly work like the book is saying. So I'll show you guys my setup in a second once I put this in. So it's the thing where you test compression with, compression tester, if that's what it's called. And we just have the battery from the car hooked up to the starter right there. And if I were to move that red wire right now and touch it to that, the engine would turn over. So let's do that one sec. Here. It shows 0 right now. If we go and turn it over, right now, as you guys can see, that's not even enough for the engine to start. Wait, what if I... There, you can read it. That's not enough even for the engine to start. It needs 90 psi minimum for an engine to start. Now, let's go to cylinder 2. Cylinder 2. It says 0, as you can see. And now we'll turn it over. It is barely nothing, just barely hopped over. And if we continue to do so, it's not, how do I say it? The timing is incorrect, even though the book says it. It is, and if you watch every YouTube video, they'll also say like this. Every rebuild I've seen, they're doing it like this, and it hasn't worked for me. So me and my dad were doing some just like simple thinking and all that, and we figured out that the valves aren't opening and closing when the pistons move up and down. So I'm gonna reset the timing right now as I showed in my last video. I think when I showed it in my last video, the engine was turned over one time, so I don't know if it's standing exactly correctly. This is gonna stand correctly, I can guarantee that, but this should work how I'm gonna set it. So I don't know, maybe I'll show you guys me working on it until yeah. First thing, I have to turn this over so I can put the timing chain locking tool in, so I could lock the camshaft to unscrew that bolt. this is the timing chain locker. It has those two little pins that go in two little holes right there. Like I've said in all my videos, I'm no expert mechanic, so don't exactly think everything I say is going to be correct if you're doing a rebuild or you need help or anything. I'm just kind of trying to figure this out. Fix this Mini. There we go. Put it on. And the first thing we will do is take this off. So to take it off, I am using 18-inch socket. Just kind of using the tools that are in my garage that we have. It's not really. I should probably turn it on a little bit so I can take it off easier. There we go. So we can take the timing chain tool off, the locking tool. I'm going to take that off. Before I do that, I'm going to unscrew the tensioner. This is a 3/4 wrench. So windy, it's a windy day if you guys can hear that. If you want, you guys can skip the video ahead for when I'm not working to when this is done. But I took the tensioner out. I can finish unscrewing the camshaft. And I'll also take, what are they called? The guide rails. I unscrew them because it makes it easier to put the chain on. Or at least I personally find that. And then I screw them back on when the chain's on. But the guide rail screws are kind of long, so I have to use the wrench, ratchet till they kind of get out a little bit because it's not that easy to reach them. Okay, here I can also show you this from before the start. I haven't moved it yet, but see, it was at the 11 o'clock position, just like in there, just like it says that in the book. So I will continue. I take the chain off. And I need to. So, when the camshaft is at the 11 o'clock position, exhaust cylinder number 4, that valve is open, and on the intake it's cylinder 3 that's open. So let me take a look at my pictures and I'll get back. So I have to turn it over so that exhaust valve for cylinder 3 is open, and that the intake on cylinder 1 is open. And I'm not going to move the bottom at all. All the cylinders are standing even right now. So I just have a pliers, or what is this called? I'm not exactly sure what this tool is called. And I'll just turn that over. That's on cylinder exhaust 2. That's 3. This isn't really easy to do when you don't have the right tools. I suggest having the right tools if you're going to do this. Honestly, I could do this differently. Oh no, I can't actually. Could do this though. If we put this back on. And screw that bolt back in. I think I can just twist it with the bolt to move it. If I don't lock it, it'll move, I believe so. Keep the crankshaft so that all the cylinders are standing even. You can take something like I have right here. It's just I believe this is a copper metal, like almost a metal wire, but it's thicker, so it's not exactly like flexible. But if you just stick that in and mark it with your finger where it was in that cylinder, and then put it in the other cylinders and see, it should be even all across throughout all 4 cylinders. And now if we do this, I believe this will work too. Yes. There is exhaust valve number 1. We need 3. There's 3. And there's 2. And then why did this change? We go one more time. There's 4. I believe so, that this is correct now, because in the picture it was turned over. So we're gonna need, like I said, number 4 on the exhaust for the valves, those to be open, and number 1 on the intake for cylinder 1. Now the harder part's going to be unscrewing this without getting it to move. I'm not exactly sure how to do. If I can just put there we go. there's this bolt off for the camshaft. And on the chain there are these gold links, like I showed. So I'm just going to take a red marker, and since the gold links are only on one side, I don't know how well you can see from the light. Those are the two gold links. I'm just going to draw with red on the opposite so I know where the gold links were. It realistically, I don't believe it does anything. All the videos and everything, the books as well, they were saying that to match them up. But we noticed that it doesn't really change anything. And then there's the one right there. And now we'll put this on. The gold links are going to be facing inward on the engine. And you don't even have to line up if you drew on with red as well. You don't have to line them up. Now you just have to play around, figure out how to put the chain on so that you can put the sprocket back on. I believe it's called a sprocket. Okay, I probably put it on by a couple teeth on the chain wrong. This is probably one of the hardest parts, just trying to line it all up, put it back on. I don't know, I'd say that. It's a little bit frustrating, to be honest. Let me find out how to put this on, then I'll get back. Put it on. Oh. Set this. I don't know what you call the position. Number 3 is open for the exhaust. Number 1 is open for the intake. And I'll just record myself putting everything back together. Nut for crankshaft, camshaft. Now I'm going to put the guide rails back on. I'm going to screw the 2 bolts back for the 2 guide rails. Where's that? There is that one. Now I just screw it back on. It's probably kind of like one of the things that takes longer because the bolts are so long and you're kind of like forced to use a wrench or something because they're like kind of deep in there and you can't even reach with your fingers. There's that one. And then this one's next. I put the chain on also while I was at it, trying to put that on. But there's that one. Next is the tensioner. It's just the tensioner and the bolt, and there's a little hole in there, and there's this. Just kind of just like put them two together. That's where they go. So, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna squeeze the tensioner together so it makes it easier to put it in, and then I'll just release it once it's in and it'll go into place. There's that in, and then I'll just release it. There we go. And last thing would be checking the compression again to make sure everything's correct. So, into cylinder 1. It is at 0. And as I said, the books are not correct. Nor are the YouTube videos. Over 120 psi. By a little bit, but it's over. Back, now we're gonna go into cylinder 2. Because before, if you set the timing how the book says it, and most of the YouTube video, all the YouTube videos are gonna say it exactly how that book says it. You're gonna have compression jumping around. Most cylinders are gonna be 0, and one cylinder is gonna have a little bit higher psi than all the other ones. It might jump to, I don't know, 10 psi, but it's almost nothing. 0 psi, cylinder 2. Bam. Same as cylinder. I could go show you cylinder 3 and 4, but they're gonna be the same. So, I mean, I don't know. The book, yeah, might be a good reference if you're doing one job or another. But the book definitely isn't a good reference for timing purposes. Because I just showed you, it obviously doesn't work. I don't know, maybe it's if you take the entire engine apart and doing something, I don't know. But how the book says it in those YouTube videos are saying exactly the same. It's not how it's supposed to stand. There's something wrong. So drop a like, guys. like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notification if you want. I'm going to be trying to post weekly. And yeah, drop below in the comments what you want me to show you. If there's anything in particular you want me to tell you about the engine or the Mini. It's a work in progress. We're going to be taking the entire engine apart. We solved this issue. We're going to take the entire engine apart. We're going to replace all the seals, gaskets, probably water pump, oil pump, and other components inside. I don't know. We'll check the valves also. They should be good because obviously there's compression. We're just going to clean out the engine. We're going to paint the engine block probably white, I'd assume, because I have red hoses and all that. So I know white and red kind of match. So I'm thinking about that. And that's currently where I'm at right now with the Mini. Thank you guys, and subscribe.